Ready? Hey, hello. We're here with,
Raja Abdulhaq.
and you are the founder of Quds News Network, I believe. Yes. Um, First of all, we really enjoyed hearing you speak today. Um, we would love to hear a little bit about what you think of the student movement for Palestine, especially in the U.S. We see that a lot of times students are like starting these movements, but what do you think the direction we need to be going is from a perspective outside of the student's perspective?
Yeah, I mean, the student movement, honestly speaking, especially after October 7th, has taking it to a whole different level. In the past, the Palestinian movement or any movements that was in favor of Palestine was mostly aimed at providing only news reporting on what's happening in Gaza. But nowadays, you can see that the new movement is ideological in the sense of explaining Palestine from a different perspective, understanding Palestine in the context of American imperialism, in the context of Western hegemony, in the context of dealing with political issues, but also social and economic issues. So Palestine is becoming the center state for the majority of the social economic issues that are happening around the world. I mean, in New York City, for example, where I'm from, you have students that are struggling to pay rent, are protesting and engaging in cabinets for the sake of Palestine because they truly believe and feel that the struggles for their own basic needs, human needs, and having affordable housing is connected to Palestine because it's not in the simplistic sense of that the tax money is going for Israel, but the concept of that capitalism as the incentive of how the U.S. empire is supporting Israel to continue its hegemony in the region, but also to continue to colonize and occupy Palestine. So the new movement is completely shrink. The student movement are aware of their positioning and the ability of the beast, but also understanding that the educational system and the school institutions that we have specifically in these Ivy Leagues and prestigious universities are part and parcel in developing strategies and rhetoric and epistemology that is used to colonize more people overseas. So the new movement is truly shrewd and strategic and tactical, which is really eye opening and very exciting for the newer generation.
Yeah, definitely. I considering the context of Palestine becoming the new like center of most social justice struggles, especially in the U.S., what would you say is a good way to go forward for students who are organizing, and the best way to impact movement with direct action? What, from your perspective, would be the next step you see that this movement going?
Yeah, I think very important question. I think in general, the Palestinian movement in general needs to be centered, and the Palestinian struggle per se needs to be centered as the main cause for anybody who cares about justice, anybody who cares about liberation, anybody who cares about not just social justice in the American sense, but also in the sense of like how do we bring about and emphasize human dignity around the world? As we know, the U.S. empires is destroying the world, is killing millions of people around the world. Multinational corporations are, not only abusing and exploiting cheap labor, but also dividing and pushing people to be more consumerists, to open more markets, and that of course eventually requires more raw material, requires cheap labor. So it's a cycle that exists around the world. Palestine represents a microcosm for that struggle, a struggle between maintaining human dignity, maintaining affordable housing, maintaining a way where people can afford to live in a dignified way. So taking Palestine as the cornerstone for these struggles puts everything in perspective, in the sense of like not being divided into these trivialized struggles and causes every now and then, but more like focusing at a very important component of the world struggle, which is Palestine, because it represents all of these evil ideas, all of those ways of trying to subjugate human beings for capital. So centering Palestine is essential. And I think for the new movement, specifically Palestinian movement and the student movement at large, need to take Palestine instead of it being fighting for Palestine as a way to occupy the occupation only, but how do we take Palestine as a stepping stone to liberate humanity at large? And I think if you center that to become the message, I think other people will join forces and it will become part of the struggle because everybody wants to liberate humanity. Everybody wants the human dignity uh, uh, um, to win over individualism and materialism.
That's a great way to put it. One more question from me before I give the mic to Zoya. What do you think the role of specifically your uh, uh, Quds News Network? What do you think the role in those types of media outlets um, has been in shaping and in changing the public opinion? We know that the media did a lot of bad coverage of Palestine, and obviously, but with the reliance now on more independent journalism and lesser known sites, even sources like from actual Palestinians, what is what's your perspective or any comments you have about that?
Yeah, that's an important question because I feel like Quds News Network, whether when we started in Arabic and even later on in English, what's unique about the coverage that we provide is that we're not just trying to report the facts on the ground with no narrative. With us, we don't want to convince people Palestinians are the victims of something colonialism. We want to provide and give voice to the Palestinian narrative that the Palestinians and their struggle is not just a humanitarian issue where all we need is to show people the Palestinians dying. We want to show the destruction. That's it. No, we want to provide narrative that speaks about the Palestinian struggle. We want to talk about our people's resilience. We want to talk about our people's resistance. We want to talk about our rights to resist, our rights to live our life with dignity without being subjugated to the Israeli occupation and to American hegemony in the region. So we have provided, or we have been providing a different way of looking at media. And unfortunately, you mentioned mainstream media in the West has been playing a pivotal role in dehumanizing and demonizing Palestinians to justify the genocide that the Zionist entity is doing or committing against our people in Palestine. So it's essential for us to not just humanize Palestinians, but to also assert our narrative that we're not just speaking as victims of colonialism, not that we are trying to prove our humanity and prove that we are civil and civilized and we prove that we deserve to live, but also to also assert that we have a right in this and our right is to reclaim our narrative, but also fight for our struggle and fight for our people because we understand that the mainstream media is part and parcel of the American imperialist project. So we need to provide an alternative perspective, not in just appealing to the public opinion, but also provides a narrative that fulfills our rights and our responsibilities as a liberation movement.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You fine, boy. Well, yeah, I think we're good. My name is Aman, by the way.
Nice to meet you, Ahmed.
But yeah, this is all I have.
Zoya, nice to meet you.
Like you covered, yeah. I had so
You're so kind.
covered so like
You're just being kind and nice.
I
Thank
promise we're really not. We've actually been fans. Like I think we're journalism nerds, so like
you.
been fans of yours for a while in the Quds News Network.
That's so sweet.
It's something we tell a lot of people who want to learn about Palestine that that's something that they should check out, like those types of media. So yeah, it was I would say like one of the projects that so allowed the you and that so allowed we our own like outlet. I like agree.
Absolutely.
Inshallah, like in the future, can connect.
Yeah, I'll give you my contact. I would love to stay in touch where there's always opportunities for us to do something different, something new. And the younger generation, honestly, has not just more creative, but they don't have the same packages that our elders come with. Like all of them are stuck with September 11. They're stuck with police states also back home. So they're afraid. I think the younger generation are not afraid. So I love to work with you and stay in touch with each other.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
I think you saw the mic on. Oh, yeah.